Hi, everyone. My name is Wes Fryer. I am currently a middle school teacher here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today is October the 29th, 2024, and I would like to share with you a quick presentation I call Classroom Management Digital Tips. I am sharing a presentation tonight for my friend, Dean Shareski, and I would like to be able to just share some real practical things that I do basically every day, certainly multiple times a week, with a lot of Google tools, but some other things. So we're going to talk about how I use Google Sheets for my class lists and managing student names. We're going to talk about Google Sites and how I use that to get my presentations ready to go for the day. We'll talk a little bit about ChatGPT and AI and how I use that in a whole lot of ways. But one way is by sometimes manipulating data, including student names and lists and things. And then lastly, a little fun website called the Wheel of Names, which is an excellent site that I really like to use and I use a lot. So this is a Google site that I've been maintaining for a number of years. It is addressable or findable at lessons.wesfryer.com. And I have mapped this from Google Sites. So Google Sites is free. I'm going to open an incognito window and just type Google Sites. And as you may know, Google Sites is a part of the Google Suite and it allows you to make websites. And so when you're logged into your Google account, you can simply go to sites.google.com and you can access all of the websites that you have made. These are not all mine. Some of these are owned by my, so I can say owned by me. And these are all of the sites that I have access to on my school account. I share my personal site. This is one on my personal Gmail with myself so that I can go in here and edit it whenever I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and find that site. It says owned by anyone because it's my other account. And so here it is. This is my Google site, and I can go in here and edit it. I have all kinds of things in here. In fact, the lesson that I'll be doing today is called Launchpad Wikipedia. I have my lessons shared now within Canvas. We started to use Canvas last year. We used Google Classroom prior to that. So I can draw on those lessons and copy them. But I've just gotten into the habit of sharing my lessons sort of out loud in public. I would call this outside sharing so that not only can I access these, but I can also share them with others. And, if I end up, moving schools or need to, just share this with somebody else, I can just give them the link and they can have access to it. So it's a little bit fancier to have this accessible at a custom domain, but that costs me about, I guess you can about $10 a year, maybe a little bit more than that. But that's the registration of the domain because I own the domain wesfryer.com. And so I can go into my registrar, which is GoDaddy, and I can point this to Google. And that makes this work. So when you go to lessons.wesfryer.com, you're at my site. So this is an embedded folder from Google Sites on Google Sites from Google Drive. I click on slideshow links. This is the actual folder. This has every slideshow that I've used this entire year. You can go back to spring 2024. And for every class that I teach 4 different sections each semester at our school. Every single slideshow is in here. And what I like to do when I'm getting a lesson ready or lessons ready for the day is I go ahead and open up the previous day's slideshow and I make a copy of it. Now we are on a 6-day rotating schedule. So the order and which classes I teach, changes every day. So what I'll do here is I will say, this is actually interesting. That's not yesterday. So let me make sure I get the right one. Yes, today's Tuesday. So yesterday was the 28th. Well, I'll go ahead and open up yesterday's lesson, make a copy of it. I change the name. I keep the date at the beginning so that alphabetizes it in a little list there. And then I go ahead and list the classes that I'm going to teach for the day. So I have those here on my Google Calendar. I'm teaching web design and 2 sections of computer applications. I actually didn't teach web design yesterday, so I have to go back to Friday and I will copy the slide. I have a single slide for each class. So I'm going to be doing web design and what I call media literacy today. So let's make a copy of this. And then I'm just going to paste in the slide from yesterday, or I guess actually Friday for web design. And I'll put these in order. So The first class that I have today, web design, is normally going to be at 10:50. Now, we actually have a special schedule today, and so this is unusual. We have a student, graduate of our school, who is an Olympian. She won a silver medal in the Olympics, and so we've got a different schedule. So I like on my Mac to use this little program called Sketch. Sketch allows me to take a screenshot and also annotate it, which is really nice. You can take screenshots on a PC or a Mac pretty readily. I'm gonna just draw a little box around here, and I'm going to put this on my slide. I don't always do this, but anyway, this is the special schedule, and my students will, want to know how we're adjusting our times and stuff. You can hold down Command Shift 5 on the Mac, and that opens up the screenshot or screen recording shortcut. On Windows now, on Windows 11, you can just press the print screen button to do the same thing. I've been using Sketch for years, and that's the app that I like. But anyway, that's going to be my first slide. So my first class is actually today going to be from 10:55 to 11:50. So today is day 32. Oh, wait, this is the wrong class. All right, so this is going to be day 30 of web design. Does it say 30th? That's weird. It should have said the 28th. This is the 29th of October. And again, I said the time for that is going to be 10:55 to 11:50. This is a little bit different. It's because, like I said, we're on this, I guess, block schedule. It's a rotating schedule for 5 days. And so we've got to go ahead and I do that each day, and I have this to look back on and to update. So I won't take the time to update both of these slides, but that's what I've got to do is go ahead and put our plan for what we're going to be doing in class. Now, we also use Canvas. One of the things that I'll point out to you is that here in my lesson website under courses, if you're interested in a particular course, for instance, computer programming, I'm teaching today, you can go to more info and learn about the class. But I also have links to my current and past Canvas versions. So for instance, you can go into our current semester, and I have this shared openly under a Creative Commons license, and you can see all the lessons that we're doing. So this is it's called Spooky Scratch Stories. So we're coding some Halloween spooky stories in the programming language of Scratch. And so there's not any student information, personal information in here, but you can access all of those lessons. And you can also, access past courses as well. All right. So that tells you a little bit about how I am using Google Slides to get my outline. And this is what I open up. This was our last web design class. Let me do media literacy. This is our media literacy class, yesterday. I don't know. The eyes on Dr. Fryer may be a tip to share. I have used in the past at some schools some tools that let me lock student screens and be able to, and if they have iPads or laptops, they can close them. Well, now I teach 3 of my classes in a computer lab, which is our esports lab, and it's really fast, PCs, and all the kids are logged in. Teaching middle schoolers, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, in all of my classes, I have a mix. It's challenging. And so one of the things that I will do sometimes is I will ask students to all put this slide up on their screen. And sometimes I'll have the lights off, and it's real quick to kind of know in the room. You can see lights change when this darker red screen is changed to something else. And this is just to basically encourage my students to pay attention at the beginning of class when I'm giving instruction. So that's a little free tip. But this is the slideshow that I will put up at the start of class. So students know what we're going to do. They know, in the case of my technology classes, they're logging in. They're getting signed into their Google account. They can check their grades. They can see what we're doing for the day, and they can be ready. Okay, so that's how I use Google Slides. The next thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is, let's talk about Google Sheets. So I really, really, really like to use bookmarks that are really fast for me to be able to get to the things that I want. So this is called the bookmarks bar in Chrome. When I log in to a new computer, I am able to have my bookmarks and everything synced with Chrome. This is important because I sometimes am teaching on my laptop, but not always. And so in here, I can see my schedule. This is our learning management system for our school. And I can go and see, our schedule and, all kinds of things here. And this is how I take attendance. So I've got a bookmark for that. I've got a bookmark to Canvas really quick. I teach this to my students to have fast access to all these things that we use frequently. Those things really help. Now, the other thing that I like to do is have a little folder here of drop downs. And so these are resources for the current academic year. And one of the ones that I use frequently is my roster spreadsheet. Now, I have created this one as just a demo, um, which has the student last names and actual emails. And let me go ahead and just show you how this works. So I can copy and paste out of our learning management system a list of all my student emails. In fact, I'll delete the stuff with the formulas here. And so I can paste this in, which we have a syntax of student first name dot last name at our school's domain. And what I have done is created a series of formulas that take this and end up creating lists for me, for instance, of student first names. And I've actually used ChatGPT in some cases to help me with these formulas. So this formula split just splits the email address at the comma and puts whatever's to the left, the first name over there, and puts the rest, over here. This next formula does the same thing, but it splits it at the but it does it for this column. So now I end up with the last name and the rest of the stuff. And then this one puts the two first and last names together. It's a concat. And so it puts together the first name with a space, and then it puts together the I guess that's, yeah, it puts the first name with the last name and the first name in the space of the last name. Okay. And then the very last thing just gets their first name. It makes it proper. And that's it. So this is how that looks. When I've created those formulas, I can just paste in all of my student emails, and then I fill it in by looking and highlighting, and I drag down. And then isn't this nice? Then I have all my students' names right here that I can copy and paste. And I have this for all the courses that I teach. And so one of the ways that I use this is I like to use a little website called the Wheel of Names. Wheel of Names is free. You can simply paste in names, and then it will select a name. And then sometimes I use the school. But if you want to follow on, I'll just look at it. This adds a little element of uncertainty. And am I going to be chosen? And we won't have time to, listen to everybody's, recorded audio or look at their website or whatever it is that we've been working on. But I find that to be really handy and helpful. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I hope that has been helpful to you. It is definitely a real challenge to teach middle school. Middle school teachers were crazy when I didn't teach middle school myself. And I can verify that we are a little bit crazy, but I started life as an elementary teacher and taught, fourth grade, and then taught, you know, in technology integration, working with teachers, in a lot of upper elementary, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But this is my sixth year, I guess, to be teaching middle school. It's my 29th year in education, and I'm always learning. There's always new stuff to learn. I learn so much from my students, and it really is, I think, a gift and a real responsibility and an honor to be a teacher, to have a chance to influence the lives of students. Oh, I have one more thing I want to show you really quick. And so anyway, I hope that some of these tips are helpful to you. Here's the last thing I want to show, because I love this. Let's see if I can share my screen again. So if you want to find this is cool. You can just Google the words, and you can see Wonder Links. Okay. Wonder space links. And this should work for you irrespective of, where you happen to, it works for all of my students with their logins. Because for some reason, not a lot of people, I guess, have made pages called Wonder Links. But this Wonder Links page will go to a list of links that I have been creating and curating for quite a while. I have these color coded, and oftentimes I will start class with a wonder link. For instance, in Purple, which is computer programming, this last week, we're talking about mining on Mars and also in Minecraft using code. And so this is a website called Behind the Scenes of Dyson Farming with James Dyson, who invented the Dyson vacuum. And it really is amazing talking about the ways that robotics are being used in farming. And the connection here is my students are using Minecraft education and what's called make code to be able to build an outpost on Mars. This is one of the lessons we have called Minecraft Mars. So just like NASA is planning to 3D print a bunch of different habitats on Mars, we are using our coding skills in Minecraft education or make code education in order to build basically, I did use the word colony. I try not to use that anymore, but this will show it a little bit. I'll turn trying to create buildings using robots that are going to be able to hopefully. My internet is not working. There we go. So that when astronauts show up in on the moon and on Mars, they're going to have already constructed habitats, either fully or partially constructed, that they will further finish out to create. And so this was a dome that we created, and then it just showed some techniques. This one was how. Anyway, there's a lot here. There's a lot here. If you think that's cool, you're interested in that, you should go to my website and you can find out. So I probably need to stop talking. Hope those are helpful to you. You can find me at wesfryer.com. There's a collection of links on social media. Not on Twitter anymore because I quit Twitter last November, but on Mastodon and Blue Sky and Threads and Facebook and other places, LinkedIn, you can connect to me. Good luck to you. Good luck in your teaching. Thank you for your commitment to education and to teaching. The work we do is important.